Hello, welcome back to the Armed and Anointed podcast. I am here with a very special guest, a guest that has been a year in the making, I would say. And I honestly think as I'm recording this, this is going to be the most listened to podcast of the year.
Probably
I,
will.
I feel confident about it. So I've got Brianna Chapman on the
Hi.
podcast with me today. And Bri, why don't you give yourself a little introduction?
Oh, where to begin? Well, I was born in 1988 at Victoria General Hospital. No, we won't go back that far.
Oh my
Um,
God, me too.
oh my God, just love that for us. No, for real though, I was born in Victoria. Ashley and I first crossed paths at Earl's as I can recall at the ripe old age of 18. And we know each other through network marketing. So I joined Ashley's Arbonne business back in 20 gosh, was it 2022? I think it was 2022,
I think so, yeah.
summer of 2022, because I saw that she was doing things very differently. She always has, and she always will. And I was very attracted to that. And I was attracted to the way that she was building her business. And so that was something that I felt like I really wanted to be a part of. And anybody who knows me knows that I do things to death and I don't half-ass anything. I do them with my full ass. So got right in there, started building my business really quickly, just at, the same pace that she was building hers, and eventually promoted to the top 1% of the company.
Okay, we can't give
Um,
away. We can't give it all away. We got to pull people in here.
okay, well,
So I
I'm going to
want
leave
to
it at that. Pause. Things happened after that, but that's how I'm involved in this conversation. As Ash and I met, and I was a part of her business for a time.
bless. Yeah. And it's funny because like so much time went by between us knowing each other in the industry when we were like 18 years old and then reconnecting. Like we reconnected. I had just had a baby. You had a baby that was the same age. You had
Yeah.
two kids. It was like meeting this full other version of you. Like like we knew each other, but we didn't know each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Did. Yeah.
you came into my business. I had been in network marketing for, I don't know, probably like a year and a half or so at the time, but I
Yeah.
wasn't doing anything other than talking on my stories because I didn't know how to do anything. So I'm somebody who's like full of conviction. Like I feel like I could honestly sell ice to an Eskimo. I just didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to get it to them. Like I didn't know the systems. And I remember you coming in and you were like this missing piece for me because you
Mm.
came in and you were like systems queen, like let's make onboarding, let's do this. And you filled a really big need that not only myself, but honestly, I feel like our industry needed, which was tactical business
Yes.
systems to support
Yeah.
people.
Yes. And I think that it was appealing to a certain type of persona that really was not being addressed at the time through the way that people were sharing the business. Is a lot of the way that people share is just vibes, right? We're vibe selling. And that doesn't appeal to
And then we get
everyone.
the vibe hangover.
And we get the vibe hangover, which yes, I had in spades for a very long
Same.
time. And I do think that it's really important for longevity as well. Not everybody can ride vibes until the wheels fall off. It takes a certain mentality, but it also does take infrastructure as well.
Well, I would say that because network marketing is a female dominated industry, it's taken less seriously,
Yes.
respectfully. It's like, oh, you could do it in your living room. We could do it with a baby on your hip. You can do it
Yes.
in your car, do it in the spare minutes of your time. But it's like, yeah, totally, you can do that if you want to hate your life.
Yeah. And to do
And
it well, you need support.
you need support.
You need support. And I think that, together we had this really interesting dynamic where I had that experience coming from a background of um, SaaS sales, so software as a service sales, for really large organizations, and then also having a sales enablement background as well. I looked at it and I was like, we got the right attitude here. Your attitude and the way that you were speaking about the business and the products again was really appealing to me because it wasn't cookie cutter. It wasn't the same thing that I was hearing.
Well, it's like I had no expectation. So I was like,
Yes,
I'll just share organically. And looking back
yes,
now, I can craft
yes,
that as like I was actually doing attraction marketing and I've had to since learn like the tactical steps of it and like how to actually teach that. But I was
right.
just talking to people and sharing what I loved with no expectation. I just wanted to share it.
And that's what was so appealing is it was just this like organic magnetic, hey, she's actually using these products, she actually loves them. And I remember I was like,
Organic.
hey, tell me. I was like, tell me about the business. And you're like, what? I'm like, well, like, what do we do? And you're like, I mean, I didn't get any, I got a PDF. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
well. We got
No,
the
I
PDF.
did. I was like, I got a PDF and like blessed that that's what we had at the time. And it's not
Yeah.
like anyone was trying to like do us dirty. It's just no one had done us better yet.
Yes. Yeah.
And and it was just a lack of systems. And so I came into it and there was a reason why I did nothing for a year and a half in my business, but just share. And it was like, nothing's going to happen for me because when I looked at create 100-person list and when I looked at book 30 calls, I was like, well, I'm an introvert and talking to 30 people on the phone in a month is my literal
Horrifying.
nightmare. I'm like,
Yep.
do 30 calls. I'm like, would rather shoot myself in the foot 30 times in a month. How about we do that instead? Right. And like book 100-person or like create 100-person list. Like for
You're like,
me,
do the in-person parties and like with my 4 kids.
yeah, but like also like I had my first two kids when I was 20 and 22. That set me on a completely different timeline than most other
Yeah.
people. And for me, who was an introvert, and yes, I had a social media following of like men watching me squat at the time, I didn't have any friends. And when I looked at that 100-person list, I wanted to cry because I was like, I don't even think I could put 5 people on this. And
Yeah.
then what happened was I got sat down in my shame because everybody else could probably put together a 100-person list and I didn't have any friends. And I knew that I would not be somebody who was like, oh, I'll just scroll my following and I'll write down 100 lists. That feels
Yeah.
like a freaking robot. But I was like, this, like looking back, I'm like, if you hadn't come into my business with different systems, I would have never gone anywhere in it.
Which is so interesting because I think so many people just look at you and the way that you carry yourself and your confidence and your conviction now, but like it's just a great reminder that we all start from somewhere. We all
Mm-hmm.
start from zero. We all start from a completely different mindset. And then the people that come into our lives and the things that we learn along the way can set us off on a completely different trajectory, which is just so cool and so interesting to see. And I'm sure that a lot of people probably don't know that about you, right? Is that like
Yeah.
you didn't wake up one day and say, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go build this massive business and go off on my own and be a coach. No, it took a lot of hardship. And it took time as well.
Oh, yeah. It's been 5.5 years of like trips and stumbles that created the path. It's like finding your footing is a series of stumbling first.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
And
mean, we've
my
definitely
coach,
had a lot of stumbles along the way
yeah.
as well.
But my coach said something to me too, where I was like, I really built my business by like trial and error. And he's like, totally. But how quickly could you have done it if you weren't running in the wrong direction for so long?
Hmm.
And I was like, ooh, really quick, a lot faster. Yeah.
Bars.
Which is, well, yeah, exactly. Bars, right? But I'm like, because it's a female led industry, we're just like, just trial and error, just see what works, just use your
Yeah.
energy, just use your belief, because those are those feminine aspects, right?
Mhm.
They're like, we receive, we put, we're happy, we're bubbly, we do the love, we share our goals, but it's like, we need the masculine aspect of it, which is
Yeah.
the systems, which is the structure, right? Like the weather is not anything without the sky holding it. It's chaos. And that's kind of what we had was we had the weather, but we didn't have the sky. And
Mhm.
when we started putting systems together, it started to grow and it started to work a lot better. And what happened was we kind of grew at the same pace.
Yeah.
And you were in Ottawa and I was in BC. So we are on like these opposite ends of the country, growing these like East Coast, West Coast teams. And it felt like very cool to be able to reach so many different people through this
Yeah.
industry.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm sure that that's something that you never imagined, like, what happened when you came into it, because again, you're saying, like, I had no expectations, and then to just be met with, like, so many new experiences and so many new people, like, day after day, week after week. It was a lot, though, it was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
It was a
remember
lot.
us doing those initial cohorts of onboarding people, and I remember a lot of raised eyebrows at the time when we were doing that because it was so
Mm-hmm.
different than what
Yeah.
everybody else was doing, and, we, like, were just I was just thinking like the people, yeah, people need programs, people need systems, people need to know what to expect when they come into the
Mm-hmm.
business rather than just vibes. They need a set agenda. And I do think that that was really appealing to a lot of people when they were looking at, well, why do this, but why do this with them?
Yeah, but it's also like for me, when I look at the industry of network marketing, this is an industry that serves women through every stage of their life. It is
Mhm.
such a powerful tool that we need. Like as women, we need this. Like we want to come home and have babies. That might shift our entire career goals. We might have wanted to be in the workforce. We have babies. Now we want to be home, right? Like we need to be able, and like sometimes it's just not doable. We're like giving out more than we make to daycare. And we're like, what is happening here? Like it serves women so freaking hard,
Yeah.
but it's not being done well right? And then we're like, okay, well, everyone's just falling through the gap. Nobody really knows. There's a reason why it's a top 1% and a top 2%, and everybody else is just kind of like
Yeah.
floundering. But it's also, we're entrepreneurs. And entrepreneurs, we're chaotic. We're a lot of us are neurodivergent, like bless our creative brains, but we work so different. And when there's one system, you can't shove every entrepreneur into the same system because most of
Yes.
us will suffocate and die. And so what I found with network marketing is it was a lot of elephants in the room and respectfully a lot of gaslighting if you did things differently.
Yeah. Yes, and it's been like turning the Titanic away from the iceberg. I'm sure that you can speak to this better than anyone because you have done things so differently and you've also built a team of people that do things differently too. And I mean, frankly, there are still a lot of people that have not caught on. I do
Mm-hmm.
think it's only a matter of time.
I think so too.
I think that we can all see the writing on the wall that the way that things have been done for the last 40 years is no longer working anymore. It's not appealing to, the Gen Zs. It's not appealing to the next generation of people that are going to come into this business. Um,
Amen. Yeah.
Not everybody wants to do things that way. But I think that it does need to come from, people like you, like top leaders. It needs to be a top down thing where it's not, people that are just at the bottom, like crying out for help. It needs to be people from the top saying, hey,
Yeah.
we're going to embrace you. We're going to accept you. Because a lot of people, like one of the main reasons I came into this business is I'm like, I just want to be accepted somewhere. Like I've had such a hard time my whole life feeling like I deserve to be in the room and feeling like
Yeah.
accepted and valued. And I'm like, I just want to go somewhere where I know I'm going to be good because if I'm good at this, which I know I will be, people will love me and accept me. And
Yes.
there's just this like disconnect though for those of us that are like, hey, this is really not, I want this, but I also don't want to do it that way.
Yeah.
That makes it really hard.
Well, it's like what I'm feeling right now even is like the mission that I'm on right now to like rework this industry, not just this industry, but like business
Hmm.
itself for service
Hmm.
is there's so much pushback. And I'm like, I'm coming at this from a place of love. I love the industry of network marketing. I love female entrepreneurs being able to create and create their own lives. But when you shake the foundation of something that people have been standing on for so long, everybody gets really uncomfortable and they just want the shaking to stop.
Yeah.
And, it's like, I'm not trying to drown people. We're trying to find new solid ground because you're right. Like this has to carry on. And there hasn't been an industry shift in so long that
Yes.
it's like this industry needs to shift so it can support the next generation of women. And we have to
Yes.
be willing to do that. But most of all, we have to be willing to serve people in this business because service goes far, self
Does.
does not.
No, it doesn't.
And people just like what happens is you're like, okay, I want to do this and I want to try this. And everyone's like, shh, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Like I never did reach outs in my business. Everyone's like, you can't talk about that. And I'm like, but why not? I could teach it.
They're like, oh, well, it won't work for other people because not
Yeah.
everybody looks like you. Not everybody has your following. You don't teach people that because they're
Yeah.
not you. And we're
But
like,
I'm like, you want to
this is
know
the
how I
biggest
built the
crock of sh-.
following?
Like, it's like it's the biggest lie, right? I think that people get so attached to that because it's safer. It's safer
Yeah.
to say, well, I can't do attraction marketing because I'm not her.
But I
So
think
I'll
we
just
also
do
think like attraction marketing is influencer marketing. And like
yeah,
that's something too
it's
where I'm
not the
like,
same thing.
I just want to intercede here and say attraction marketing is not just sitting on your butt, just sharing things, being like, la 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 la, everyone's gonna come in.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's like I put out 3 to 7 pieces of content a day. My content breaks down your fear, your shame. My
Yeah.
content speaks to my ideal person. My content walks you through stages of buyer awareness. My
Yeah.
content has an ideal avatar breakdown. My content
Yeah.
puts you in my story, in my life. My content is about my audience. Like there's so many steps to attraction marketing where like influencer marketing is just posting to a stage 5 of buyer awareness. It's just here's my link. And it's
Here's my
like,
Amazon link
but
to
that's what we're taught when we come into the
yes.
freaking business.
Yes, here's my
Everybody comes
greens
in.
every day.
Yes.
Here's my greens.
Yep.
Here's my
Yep.
greens. Here's my greens. And you're
And I'm
like, oh, if
like,
I just say it, if it's just 8 to 10 touches on, like then people will buy. Well, no, there's so much more that goes
there's
into it than
so
that.
much more. And I'm like, bless your heart. And I know that you're just being taught like it's just recommending,
Yeah.
but you haven't earned the right to post a link.
No.
And like influencers, everyone loves to hate on an influencer. You don't have to be an influencer. I can teach you. Like I see this all the time, this influencer crap. And it's like influencers work hard. Influencers build relationships
Oh
with their
yeah.
audience. They earn the right to post those links to have people support them. They earn their following. So like you
Yes.
can't you can't crap on somebody for working harder than you and having more rights than you because of it.
So accurate. Wow. That's such an interesting way. It's such an interesting way to put it, and you're right. I mean, speaking for myself, I spent, and you did the same, like I spent 4 years building up my trust battery with my audience
Hmm.
before I stepped into network marketing. I paid my dues, right?
Dude, we put our freaking guts on the internet, and like most people
Yeah,
aren't willing to go first like that. They're like, I
no,
want to lead. And I'm like, but you're not willing to go first. And the
no.
two, they they go together.
Yeah,
Like
they do.
you have to be willing to like say the things and do the things that most people aren't willing to do.
Put
And
yourself out
then
there.
put
Yep.
yourself out there. And then everyone, like when you do and you're like, build this thing, everyone's like, well, it's you're pretty. And I was like, well, if my face was getting me out of bed at 4:30 in the morning, I would take that. But she not. She's the one like trying to she's the
She's
one trying to be like,
sleepy.
get back into bed.
No,
Who
no,
even needs it? We
not
don't need it.
happening.
Get back into bed. But it's
Yeah.
it's this thing where it's like there's a system that doesn't work for everybody. And what I find a lot with my coaching clients is that they'll be like, listen, the system worked for me, but they're like, it doesn't work for my team and I don't know how to teach different. And that's why I'm here. And I was like, first of all, snaps for you because you're the leader who comes and goes, I want to learn more so I can teach more so it can impact more.
Hmm.
And I'm like, that's amazing. You didn't just try to shove everybody into the system and go, you're uncoachable. You didn't just try to teach, oh, you need to believe more because
Double
we
your
got
numbers.
we got
Double
to
your
talk about we got
numbers.
to talk about the belief. My biggest thing with this is like when we're like, you just need belief and you just need energy, is that when people don't have the tactical steps to reach their goals or they don't have the ways to work, then it's like this manipulation of it's their fault for not having enough belief or enough
Oh
energy.
my
And they're like, I
God.
just didn't believe in myself enough. And that
Oh,
just deepens the shame cycle. Right. And then it's like they're just down on themselves. They're like, I knew it. I couldn't believe in myself. I was never meant to do this. And it's like,
yeah.
no, babe,
Yeah.
I could just give you the actual skills, how to create content, how to use your messaging, how to build an organization, how to lead. You
Yes.
need to know these things.
Yes.
It wasn't
Yeah.
your belief. That was never the problem.
No. And I mean, I do think like to a certain degree, of course, you need to have the degree of self-worth that
Oh,
comes
you
with
got to
building
have
a business.
faith in
You
yourself.
Yes, yes. I mean, there's definitely a difference between like the self-confidence and the self-worth, right? The self-confidence is the
Yeah.
external validation. The self-worth is what comes from within. And that is ultimately what is going to be the
Hmm.
fuel that is going to keep your business fire burning, right? Of course. But if you are just relying on that external validation piece and it's just coming from, the likes and the shares and like people, and the customers, like, trust me when I say that when the chips are down, you're gonna want that self-worth piece to lean back on, because I think that like for me that was the biggest downfall for me, was that
Hmm.
I just lacked that. I had the confidence, but I lacked the actual internal conviction and the true belief that I could do it and that I could weather the storm, and still come out on the other side and be successful.
I think that's such an important thing for people to hear is the difference between confidence and self-worth, because I'm at a place now, right
Now.
now, where I'm like, if you stripped everything, and you know what? Everything has been stripped from me right now.
Yes,
I'm like, it's
literally, it's so
just
topical. You're like, I just literally
like,
stripped it from myself
yeah,
today.
yeah. But it's
Hi.
like, if you stripped everything away, would there still be worth there? And there was even moments, what Bree's referring to there is I listened today. God was literally telling me, he's like, put your account down. And I was like, oh, I'll just bridge the gap. Okay. But I put it down today and I was like, I had a moment where I was like, oh, the community that I built, but Ashley, the influencer, but tough as a mother, like people have been calling me
Yes.
that for so long. And I had this moment, this war with my ego where I was like, but if you stripped it all bare and it was just me and it was just Ashley and she was just standing here and she had no title and she wasn't a coach and she wasn't an MVP and she wasn't, a top 1% earner and she didn't have the car and she didn't have anything, is your worth standing there with you?
Oof. Oof.
And it was. I had to cry. I sobbed in the car. I was like, I'm so happy. And I had a moment where I just sobbed today. I let it go and I prayed over it and I put it down. And I was just so happy because I was like, there is nothing that you could give me or take away that would define my worth.
And but that's after 5.5 years, man. Like, this is not, and
But
people
I
shouldn't get
think
so down on themselves if it's not an
mhm,
overnight thing, right?
it's
It
not.
compounds over time. It
And
compounds
I
over
think
time.
that we should talk about losing our worth in this stuff
Yeah.
because I was so lost. Like I was putting together a post today about like my years at Tough as a Mother, and I was looking at these pictures and I want to like wave in front of her face, like, are you anybody in there? Like anybody in there? Like at all? Um, because like I want you to share your journey with this too, because we both walked so far away from ourselves. And I think that the version that people are looking at and hearing on the other side of this podcast, this is probably the first time that you're hearing the real us.
Yeah, it's true. And it's I've thought so much about this over the last, 7, well, what are we now? Gosh, it's October, so 10 months actually, because I had for those of people who aren't familiar with my story. So basically what happened is I decided I wanted to run for the top 1% before I was ready, before my team was ready, before I had really built up, like we were talking about, this self-worth avatar inside myself, like this version of myself that was actually ready to fully embrace and accept and step into this next version of me. I did it before I was ready because I felt like I I don't even know why.
It's like
I
this
was,
pedestal. It's like if
yeah,
you're not on the top step, you're nothing.
yes,
So get
yes,
on the top step, or we're all just going to look down at you
yes.
from it.
Yes, and I think that it's also this rhetoric that's being constantly perpetuated of just, oh, just double your numbers and like burn the bridge, burn the boats, the success will come later. And I think that I just felt like I just wanted to be accepted and I wanted to be in that like elite top status. And so I went for it and did
Talk
it.
about the numbers. Talk about the number. Neither of us, this is the first time in our life, neither of us are wrapped under compliance right now. So speak
Oh
your
man.
numbers.
Okay. So for anyone that's in Arbonne, you'll be able to understand this. For anyone that's not in Arbonne, I'm sorry. This is a slight tangent, but um we I think that my best month ever prior to going running for MVP was like it was like 70, maybe. I think that was my best month ever.
It was 72,000 the month that I went for nation because my region did 142,000 and yours did 72,000 and we crushed it. We
Yeah.
crushed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was a push. I was like, we're doing this in 2 months. Like, there's no way,
Yeah.
promotions can be done over 2 or 3 months. And I was like, that's a lot of volume. And
Yeah.
I was building off energy. I was building off belief. And like, I was so hungover after, but I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this another month. And because
No.
of the way that it works, like with you under me, it was like, if I did it another month, I couldn't pull as much from you because you're a thriving region.
Yeah.
When we say these names, we're just literally, it's just titles. So like Brianna was at the third level and I was pushing for the fourth level, but because she was at the same place as me, there's like stipulations around how much volume I can pull, which is
Yeah.
great. Like you should be working, right? But
Yeah.
I couldn't pull as much volume if we did another one. So honestly, like that was me too. Like I pushed us.
Yeah, but I mean, you were more ready than I was when it happened for you, and I just really wasn't. And I think honestly, to a certain degree, like I was also really jealous of you, and I just was like, I want to be an MVP too. Like, fuck it. Like I saw what you were doing, and I'm like, I can do that too. It'll be fine. It's fine. It's all gonna work out. And obviously, you have the people all around you that are like nattering in your ear, being like, you're ready, you're ready, you're ready. Go, go, go.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, cool. Gonna quit my job. So I quit my fucking job,
Mm-hmm.
which was also wild. Now looking back on that, I'm like, what? What? But I quit my job in August and we ran in October and we did get into qual. And then we did close it in November, but my God,
And you guys,
the,
it's
the
a hundred and
stunts that we had to
six,
pull
yeah,
160,000
in
in
volume a
volume.
month. And this is the part where I'm like, if you're not inside of network marketing and you're like, what in the balls is going on in this episode?
A lot.
Dude, the maintenance for us was 160,000 a month. Like
Which is
that's
basically dollar, it's almost dollar for dollar. Like if you
yeah.
think about it, it's about dollar for dollar.
Yeah. And so like everybody loves to like crap on network marketing, but it's like you can crap on that when you have sold 160,000 in volume of literally anything that is not a house.
I think we need to also asterisk this with the fact that a third of that volume was my personal sales.
Yes. So yeah, you did 62,000, 60 something thousand personal. Yeah. So like you guys, like that's a crazy amount of sales
Oh,
volume.
guys, that's not sustainable. But here I am, like, oh yeah, no, I'm just gonna have a ton of people join my business. But what I didn't realize is that to the outside world, I looked fucking crazy. I looked nuts. Like, you don't do that. And I mean, people saw how hard I was working. They saw all these promotions that I was running. They saw all this like content that I was making, and it was so not relatable and so not attractive. Because I was here,
Yeah.
I was being like, I am building this amazing thing, and people were okay to cool to like one-off support me. which was great. But I think I really just failed to see that like I was not building a service-led business. I was building a business built on entertainment. It was a reality TV show, and then when the cameras turned off, I was left holding the bag with a team that was exhausted, a team that really
Mhm.
resented me, and I really resented myself because like here I was, went from 160,000 in volume in November to like 50,000 volume in December or something. And then just like things just never recovered after that. And like my self worth just never recovered. And I ended up just absolutely hating myself,
Yeah.
feeling so guilty for what I did to my family and my friends and the people around me and my team. And got to a point in February where we were on a vacation that we had planned like 8 months before that, because that was before we bought this vacation before we knew we were going to Hawaii. And I was on vacation and I woke up in the middle of the night and I had a fucking panic attack. Because
Mm.
I'm like, I am $25,000 in debt. I am drowning. My team won't speak to me. I feel like I have made the worst possible decision for my life and my business. And I don't think my business is ever going to recover. And I just like limped on for like a month after that. And then that's when I made the decision that I had to go back to work.
Yeah. And it's funny because we were friends at the time, but we weren't friends like we are now. Like the way that
No.
you just spit that out, like it was just like truth. Here's my truth. And I would say that we were like friends with masks on because,
Yes. Yeah.
and I talk about this so much now as a coach to my clients where I'm like, if you want to build in friendship, you won't be able to lead in boundaries
Mm-hmm.
because we built in friendship. So like Brie, I could see that this wasn't going to be good. I could see that the
But you were
volume
my
wasn't
friend and
there.
you didn't want to tell me because
That's
you
the
were like, I
thing.
don't want to hurt her.
I didn't
I
want to
don't.
hurt you. I didn't not only hurt you, but like I didn't want to have the uncomfortable conversation. I was a
No.
coward. So I was like, well, I'll just avoid this and everything will be fine. And every time something comes up, we'll just sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
And now I know that I'm like, I'm like, my coach is the first person who spoke so brutally to me, sat me
Mm.
down so hard time and again whenever I needed it out of love, because he said support is not enablement. Support is enablement when
Oh,
people want you to drown.
goddamn. Yes. 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 And you know what? I look back and there were so many times where I pushed my team thinking that I was supporting them, but I was fucking enabling them. And I
Yeah.
was pushing them so hard
Yeah.
in pursuit of my own goals. And I know that now, but at the time I was like, oh well, everybody, it's a rising tide lifts all boats. Like there's all these stupid fucking slogans that go around in network marketing that are used as weapons.
Yeah.
And I was just weaponizing what was being said to me as well.
Yeah. And it's like I didn't learn that for so long because after you left, and like we can go into that too, but like I realized that when you were ripped out from under me, I was in this imposter syndrome of leadership where I was like, oh no, but I don't know how to create systems well, and I'm doubting everything, and I don't know if I know how to lead, and I know how to be a friend, but now I'm trying to like now I have a whole East Coast team that I have to like guide as well. And
Yeah.
whoops, wasn't a good leader there either because I wasn't involved with them. I was just on the West Coast, like
You're like,
West
oh,
Coast.
Bree's got
Yeah,
it. Like, but I mean,
exactly.
to
I
be
was
fair,
like,
like I didn't really like welcome you in there either. I didn't open the door.
I was
Um,
just like living my West Coast, Best Coast life over there, just being
you're
like,
like, eh.
absolutely, absolutely nothing. Smell the ocean sounds great over here. But I was just like, I landed so hard where I was
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna have to lead these people and like they expect me to. And I am fighting imposter syndrome
yeah,
and not realizing that imposter syndrome isn't a thing because imposter syndrome just normalizes insecurity. Like everybody should have this.
yeah.
And so if we reframed imposter syndrome to deep insecurity around leadership,
Oof.
then it would have given me direction. It would have been like, you need to go and work on your leadership because you have deep insecurity there. So I just want to take a moment around that for everyone who is like, the biggest thing I see is like you promote to a large level in your business, whether it's the top or like near the top. And then you're like, oh, I feel like an imposter at this level. And it's
How
like,
did I get
no,
here?
yes, yeah. You're like, oh, I don't fit in. Everyone else seems like they're doing really good.
Yeah.
You don't have imposter syndrome. Don't normalize that. That's not unique to you. You're not the only person who feels like that. You have deep insecurity at the level that you're at because nobody is sharing the truth.
Mm. Here's the truth. This is
Good
what it
thing.
feels like.
Good news is we're sharing the truth here. But it's like I was like, oh, I have imposter syndrome around
Yeah.
leadership, and I realized I was like, no, I'm just deeply insecure because I don't know the foundations of it, and I've been leading like a friend, and leading like a friend enabled, right? Enabled this situation to exist.
Mm.
And so I actually don't know how to lead, and what's going to happen? I'm going to drown.
Yep. Yep. And you did for a time, and I also did too. And like, for context, for anybody who doesn't know, I actually went off and started a business with a different company. And obviously, now looking back, we all know why I did that. It's because my business was failing with Arbonne, and
But it's like, I want to
didn't
stop
want
you there. I want to
to.
stop you
Okay.
because when we say business was failing, your business was failing the perceived level that you were at,
Correct.
but your
Correct.
business was thriving
Yes,
for
it was.
where
It.
it was at. You were
Yes.
you were doing like 50 to 60,000 in volume, and there are people who are climbing to get there, but it was like it was the crushing weight of the
Yes.
expectation that was over you.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I think the fact that I felt like I had done irreparable damage to the people on my team, but I also wasn't willing to have those hard conversations with them either. I
Well,
was
it's the
just
shame cycle.
yes, I was just hiding from, I wasn't actually owning I didn't wasn't taking extreme ownership over my actions. And I was just saying, well, it's easier for me to just walk away from this than it is for me to go and actually have those hard conversations and genuinely apologize and do the work to
But that's
rebuild.
what most people do.
Yeah.
Most people are like, well, it's easier just to leave. It's and like I've done this time and again in my life. It's easier just to leave. It's easier just to leave. It's
Yep.
easier just to go. And if I was a real friend, it would have been better for me to actually like be there for you instead of be mad at you. But I couldn't. I was like all and like in this situation when like I was being taught to regulate so hard during this time too. I had had some instances like earlier in the year, there was three, bop, 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 same instance. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm being pushed to handle this situation differently. And I actually created a post about it today. There was a journal entry where I was like,
Yep.
some people are really disappointing me. There was these people inside my business who were being non-compliant. And the first time I handled it so poorly, I reacted. I was like, oh, I was in tears and I was reactive and reactive. And the second time I was like, oh my gosh, I'm frustrated. And the third time I was like, oh, I'm supposed to handle it differently. I'm not going to react. I'm going to let it happen and I'm going to see where the
Mm.
chips fall. And then by the time the situation with you happened, I was like, I have been trained.
Yes.
Life has been training me to regulate myself
Yes.
in business because in network marketing as an industry, it is so many women and it is so dysregulated and it is so many emotions and so many different personalities and so
Yeah.
much gaslighting and elephants in the room. And there's good stuff too. And there's real friendships and there is community and there's trips and there's so much fun stuff in it, but it's a blur of emotion. And I was like, I have been taught to like, for this moment, to regulate myself, but I hadn't taught myself how to be a leader. I didn't know how to do that. Cause like looking back now, I'm like, I should have helped you. Like I should have told you, I should have been honest. Like when I trauma hired my business coach, when did I do that? September. So that was
Yeah.
like what, like 2 months after I was like, I'm
Yeah.
drowning. I got to like, I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hired a
Yeah.
business coach I couldn't even afford. I was like, I don't care. I need help, man. Like I need freaking help.
Anything is better than what I'm doing now, including being broke. Let's go.
Yeah. And on our first meeting, I was actually in Costa Rica on an incentive trip.
Oh, no way.
And I had my first meeting with him and I was like, well, this happened in my business and this and this and like this went on. And he goes, I got to cut you off right now. Everything in your business is your fault.
Yeah.
And I was sitting on the other side of that call and I almost got up. I was like, screw this guy. How freaking dare you? You have no idea what I've gone through. I was like, off the call, I was like, how do I fire this guy for real? How do I fire him? He's such a dink. And then afterwards, I realized everything in my business is
Yes.
my responsibility. It
Yes.
doesn't matter. If you want to be a leader, you have to have full awareness over yourself, which is so uncomfortable. It's what I was
Correct.
learning in that
Oh,
moment, and full ownership,
yep.
where it's like, it doesn't matter if it's your fault, it is your
Yes.
responsibility. So stop complaining.
Yep.
And I
Yeah. And
was
I
a
think I just
complainer.
lacked that too. I lacked that too. I lacked the responsibility and the accountability to myself and to my team, and obviously and to you. Like, obviously, like, the way that I handled leaving the business was also horrible. um and maybe a story for another day, but like, it just not a class act whatsoever. But I was just so, at that point, I just wanted to
Honestly,
wash
I
my
don't think
hands
it's
of
sorry
all
for
of it.
another day. I don't think everybody deserves the ins and outs. Like, I think that we got abused in that situation as well. Like, people abused
Yeah.
us. Like, my inbox, the messages that I got from people, I was like, "How dare you? How dare you? My life is not a reality TV show." Like, I remember crying on my bathroom floor as my inbox was full of people being like, so what happened? So like you weren't really friends, so you weren't this. And I was like, how dare you abuse
It's like
somebody?
so it's so unfair. It just, I think about all the people that send those types of messages, and this isn't me really getting on my soapbox, but it's just like, how would you feel if that was you? And guaranteed that every person that's listening to this has had some sort of situation in their life where they were in
Hmm.
a very uncomfortable situation with a, a partner or a family member or a friend, and that has happened to you. That has
Yep.
happened. The same thing that happened to us has also happened to you. It just happened that our friendship was more publicized because we were also working a business that encourages you to be more open about your
Yeah.
friendships and your relationships with people.
Yeah. It was like, it was brutal. And I lost a lot of faith in my community at that time because I was like, oh my gosh, I am a sideshow for them.
People are just here for the tea. Yeah.
And it was tough for me because coming from having no friends, like building this whole community, I was like, that community was sacred to me. It was sacred. And there were people who had my back and there were people who were hate watching. And that's why to this day, when people have their heart posture isn't right, that frequency comes through their questions.
Oh yeah.
And people will
I know, and you
still,
call it out every time,
I
and you're
call it out every time because I'm
yeah,
like, I am not a safe place for this. And people will be like, well, then why don't you just not have question boxes? And I'm like, no, why don't we normalize women being direct, women having boundaries, and not gaslighting them when they know that the heart posture behind the question is not good?
yeah,
Like, don't, nope, it's not. And I will never shy away from that now because I'm like, if you're here to hate watch me, go out the way you came in.
yeah. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
Yeah, and I'm like, I want this community. Like when I build community on socials, it is a sacred ground for me. It means so much more than people understand because like I have never been the girl who's been included, who's been invited, who's had a lot of close friends.
Yep.
And so when I build community, when I talk to people on socials, that's not just a I'm responding to you. That's like I'm like in relationship with you. And so when you abuse that, that is so personal to me.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, people it's very unfair to say, well, you make the choice to put your life out there. Well, yeah, but you're also making the choice to pass judgment and be cruel
Oh my
and
gosh. I that is my least favorite thing when people are like, "Well, you put it out there." And I'm like, "So somebody does something and you take that as like a free trip to do whatever it is that you want."
yeah.
That's the same as being like, "Well, she put on that skirt so I could do whatever I wanted." Well, you
So
put your life out there so I can say whatever I want. So somebody puts their life on social media and you feel free that you can now be the worst version of you because you're behind a keyboard. That is the craziest lack of self-ownership and awareness.
yeah,
That is literally the opposite of what we are doing here.
well
And
said.
the worst part is that both of us, like, we have had to eat the humble pie so hard till we've like choked on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want another slice. I'm so full. I don't want
Yeah.
another
It's
slice.
it's been horrible. Like yeah, so I mean I left Arbonne and I started a business with a different company, and it never felt right in my body, but I wasn't really just willing to accept my truth. I wasn't willing to learn from my experience at that point. Like 2024, I've talked about this so much on my socials, but 2024 was like without a doubt the worst year of my entire life,
Same,
bar none.
same.
Um, Obviously everything that happened, between you and I and my business, and but it was also having to eat the humble pie of going back to tech when I had been like, I am done with the 9 to 5, washing my hands of that, and then having to go back, but then also having to craft a story around that as well and be like, I am so excited for this next chapter when in reality I was so embarrassed.
Takes off a mask, puts on a new
I was
mask.
I was I was so embarrassed. I felt so guilty. I was so upset. And then in the mix of all of this, we found out that like my father-in-law was dying. So it was like last summer was like just I would not wish that on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
Having to start a brand new job with it, had a brand new, business, was like grieving like my loss of my friendship with you, grieving the loss of like
Mhm.
my business, everything that I had built. And then I, limped along for a few months before deciding in November of last year that I wanted to leave the job that I was at, went and got a new job with a different sales company. And it all just sort of came to a head, I think in December. I was like drinking every single day. I was so lonely. I hated my job. Did not feel aligned with the, new network marketing company that I was with. And I had a full send Mentee bee
Mm.
at the end of December, beginning of January, and I went dark on social media for 6 months and I stopped drinking. And it was during that time that I just got this extreme clarity in my life that I've never had before. Because for so long, I had been numbing my reality with distraction. So, social media, I'm like, well, I'm just going to create this persona to distract me from how unhappy I really am. I think
Yeah.
it was like had depression or something, but I was just masking it. And then I was
That's what
also
we all do
masking it
though.
with alcohol,
Yeah.
which
It's
was
like
horrible.
something I talk about so much is I'm like, you have to be present with yourself. And like being
Yes.
present with yourself means that you are giving yourself the freedom to sit in your discomfort the same way. Like it's so easy for us to be in our happy emotions. I'm going to sit in this. I want to live in this. But when a happy one or an upset one comes up, we're like, oh, absolutely not.
I'm going to scroll my phone
Absolutely
for
not.
three
I
hours.
will look at my phone. I will
Yeah,
have a drink. I will text a friend. I will fucking text that guy. Okay, girlfriend, if you're on the other end of this, don't text him. Sit with your feelings. Okay. That
literally.
late night dick is not worth it. Okay. But
I'm
it's
so,
like, we will do anything
yes. Yep.
to avoid the discomfort that we're sitting in. And I think the craziest part was that like 2024 was the hardest year of my life too. Like the hardest year of my life. I had had one of my best friends pass away suddenly.
Yeah.
It was like I was 2 months into it and I was just being crapped on with people being non-compliant in my team. You had left. I was lost. I hired a business coach, started doing things differently. As I started like, and like it good different. Like I was like, I'm gonna have culture standards. I'm gonna have boundaries. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
this. And what happened is my business tanked. I went from doing like, 20 to 30,000 a month in income to 12,000 because I
Which
was
like which after tax is not much when you've got,
when you're the sole income earner of your family. But it's
yeah.
like, and I was like in this threshold period where I was like, what else you got? But you know what? Like, I remember going through that threshold period and being in the darkest, like most scarce moment of my life. And I was like, oh, this is the pit of hell that I
Yep.
find the most gratitude in. And every day I started to say, thank you for that $12,000 paycheck. Thank
Yeah.
you for the hardship. Thank you. And I just rooted myself in gratitude in that hardship because I was like, Ash, this is a lesson. And if you can't be grateful in your abundance, like if you cannot be rooted in gratitude and abundance, which looking back, I was not,
No.
I was like, that practice has to come from your deepest scarcity and you're in it right now. So you better start being thankful, grateful. I was like, you got breath in your lungs. Thank the Lord. You got to
Yep.
smell the ocean anytime you want. Thank God. You got healthy family. Your kids are not in a hospital right now.
And
Be
yep.
thankful. And I started to just root myself in gratitude. I was like, I'm so thankful for the way that my husband's neck smells. Okay. Like when I'm like
The smallest
that place
things.
is home, man. But I was like, what I realized was I'm like, if you can be grateful in the worst times, there will never be a moment in your best times where you're not grateful.
Mm-mm.
And I came through that and we hadn't talked yet. We
No,
hadn't spoken yet.
no.
And I had to look back and I had to be grateful for that experience.
Mm.
That was
You're like,
so
this is fun for
crazy.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like looked back and I was like, oh, the hardest and most almost annoying part is that I'm so thankful for that experience because if that hadn't happened, it wouldn't shaped me into who I am. I would have
Yep.
never met my business coach. I would have never
Yep.
become a business coach. I would have never found my purpose in helping others. And I wouldn't have like the 1,000 new tools in my tool belt to help other people because I had not gone through it. And I came
Yep.
out the other side and I was like, I'm so freaking grateful for it. And I started putting that into my gratitude every day. I was like, I'm so grateful for that experience. I'm so grateful for the way that that shaped me. I'm so grateful for the hardship. And then I have to talk about this next part because this still weirds me out. I woke up to a text one day from you, and you were like, Ash? But
Yeah.
here's the weird part, I deleted your number from my phone.
What?
I've never even told you this. I deleted your number from my phone.
How does that
And
happen?
you only said Ash to me because I had sent you a period
Yes.
above it.
Yes.
I sent you a message. I have full body goosebumps right now. I just got full goosebumps. I
What?
sent you a period. You weren't even a name in my phone. You were just
How
a
did you know
number
it was me then?
because you said Ash Russell. Nobody else in my life would have said that, would have called me that with a question mark like that, with no number. And
Oh
then
my
you
God.
told me, doesn't even stop there. And then you told me, you're like, I was like, oh yeah, sorry. Like Brooks must have sent
Yeah.
you a
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
message.
Yep.
And I was like, no, fully knowing, like, what did he do? Type your freaking phone number into my phone. He didn't send you a message. I was just trying to get out of this. I didn't want to talk to you. And bless your heart. Sorry, love you. I didn't want to talk to you. And you were like, well, that's the second sign I've had to message you because I received a project broadcast from like your Arbonne business as a
Yep.
client. Amy, my assistant, she removed you from my client list for
No
project
fucking
broadcasts.
way.
She removed you immediately. She removed
No,
you.
no way.
Yeah. So you
And it
said
was
that.
within like it was within like 2 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like when I told Amy that, Amy was like, absolutely not. I removed her from the list so immediately. And so there were two
What?
touches. There were two touches from me
Come
to you.
on. Yes. Yep.
No explanation other than God intervention
No fucking way.
for reaching you.
Ha!
And
Ugh.
because when you signed up as an Arbonne client with me later, we had to put you back into circulation. You still weren't there.
That is just, I didn't even, wow.
People be like, God doesn't exist. I'm like, let me tell you this story.
And like, and it's probably worth mentioning what I said as well. I don't have like the verbatim text in front of me, but I had been feeling so, because I had done a lot of work, myself as well.
Which I
Again,
didn't know because like I wasn't following you. I didn't
yeah.
know that you had shut your account down. I didn't know anything.
Yeah, yeah. So I had, again, I kind of everything reached a precipice at the beginning of the year this year, and I said I just I need some time. I need to figure out what I want. I need to figure out what my next step is, because right now this is not it for me. I know that there's going to be something else. My story's not over, but I need to like close this chapter for now, and so I did. Um, and it took about 6 months to myself to just be present with my family and work through everything that I was experiencing around these like really like low feelings of self-worth and shame and guilt, and during that time I just started feeling more and more like I wanted to reach out to you, but I didn't really know what to say, because I was just still really really angry too. um but then it's like you were crossing my mind so often. I'm like, I kind of just felt like I really just need a sign. Like I really just need a sign from
No.
some, I need a sign. And I got one, and yeah, I reached out, and I remember just thinking like I'm just so fucking sorry. And like I didn't mean it before. If you had asked me to do that 6 months before, I would have been like, I'm not sorry for what? Fuck this. I'm not sorry for shit. But I but when you get that clarity, right? When you get that, when you strip away all of the distractions and all of the numbing agents, you're just left with, oh, it's just me. It's just me versus me, and me having to now look back on all of these things that I did, all these decisions that I made, and hold myself to that extreme ownership that we're talking about, right? And I was like, I'm just so sorry. Like I'm like, I just want my
Nothing,
friend
nothing
back.
has ever shocked me more. Nothing has ever shocked me more. Like I remember like us
Which
standing.
I don't know how I feel about that. I'm like, oh,
I like,
but
yeah,
no,
I was
nothing
like,
has ever shocked me more, to be honest. Yeah.
I don't even like, I was, yeah, because like when you messaged me, I was like, I don't even know what to say to you. Like I was not willing to go back to that place, to go back to those conversations, to go back to
Mm,
that hardship. I was like, I can't do this. I have crawled my way through the mud over the last year to
yes.
heal.
Yeah.
I
You're
can't
like,
do
I have
this.
put in so much work. Yeah.
And you were like, the ownership and awareness that you took over yourself. I was literally, I think my husband walked into the room and my mouth was open and he was like, what? And I was like, I've never been more surprised than I am in this moment. And then something really hard happened for me because I was at a point where I was like, I was in this like God led journey, but like quietly with
Yes.
myself in
Yeah.
relationship by myself, where it's like now everyone's watching and they're like, oh, she's like new to this. And I'm like, no, it's been a while.
Yeah.
And God was like, He so clearly told me, He's like, you said that you want to help women, you want to help them heal, you want to spread light in this world. Go spread light with the person that hurt you.
Mm,
And I was like, how dare you?
like, damn
How
it.
dare you?
Yeah.
And I was like, you're right. Because the purpose behind this, and you guys, like, I talk about this all the time, your greatest purpose will stem from your greatest pain. and people watched us break. They needed to see us heal out loud.
Yeah. It would have been very easy to just put a BTS. And frankly, I was very surprised when you were willing to talk about it, because I know the how painful it was for you when you were just, you alluded to this before, but all those messages that you got, and having to weather the storm and having to field all of those, you know, very like malicious intent questions from people, and then now having to go back and almost relive that with us sharing that we had, we're working on repairing our friendship. I was like, oh, she's gonna talk about it. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
But I was
RIP your
like,
inbox.
I know. And I'm like, here's the thing is that we need to be willing to heal what is broken.
Mhm.
Because what, especially like with this mission that I have on my heart of like spreading light in this world, and like, you know what light is? Light is just love. And we have such a lack of it in this world where it's like, well, they hurt me. So like, and I was like, no, like, but like, can you still love people who hurt you? Can you mend things? And like, sometimes that looks like having boundaries. Yeah. And never talking to them again 100%. But I knew that that wasn't the case here. I knew that the case here was like, I missed you as my friend. And one of the hardest parts for me was I was doing a breathwork session. Actually, it was my first masterclass at my business coaching in Austin. And I did a breathwork session. And it was just you. And in this vision I had, it was just me. And then you were there all of a sudden. It was just, we were like, literally, it was just dark. And I had to admit to you that I was so sad. And up until that point, I had just hid behind my anger.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's so much easier to be angry. Oh, she did this, she did that,
Yeah.
and like when you stripped it away, it was like, I miss her. And
It's your
to
friend.
and
Yeah.
to like have to admit that, I remember like in the vision, like I hugged you and I was like, I just miss you. And I had to like release you. And so to have you come back was almost like, oh, I didn't know you were going to come back. I had to work so hard to release
Yeah.
you. But then God was like, no, there's a purpose here. Like you need to show how leaders and friends can like have hardship, to drift apart, to come back together out loud so that people can stop leaving hatred between them, leaving gaps between them that could be filled with love.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I followed you and I wanted to join your business because I just really wanted to get to know you. It's like the business was kind of secondary to me. I'm like, I just think she's just amazing. And I just love how she shows up. And I just see this, incredibly strong, resilient, genuine person who has so much to give to this world. I'm like, I just wanted to join the business for you. Like, you could have
Which
been
is
selling,
crazy. Like at the end of the
you could
day,
have been
like
selling
we
cheese graters and I probably would have joined
like
your business.
I'm like, I tell you, could be selling ice. Feel like I could get this from my fridge. I'll buy it from you.
There you go.
Um, but like we both at the end of the day, we're both looking for community. We're both looking for
Mhm.
closeness, for connection, for friendship.
Yeah.
And I will say that network marketing is a really good vehicle for this. It's a really good tool for it because I'm like, I've met my best friends through this.
Hmm.
I will die on that. But we need more honesty. We
Yeah.
need more room for different types of ways, for different types of people than where there is right now. And like we both had to lose ourselves in that industry. Like I self-abandoned so hard. I was just made of stuff at one point. There was no Ashley. There was just things. There was just titles. There was just
Yep.
money. And like we had to lose our way inside of it to find our way back. And honestly, I think that there was so much purpose in that because you can heal, you can find your way back. And at the end of the day, everybody changes jobs and it's not a
Yep.
circus. I've changed jobs a lot. I was like, it's so crazy that nobody cared when I quit bartending. No one was like, well, do you hate
Maybe
the
Jer
people?
cared.
Yeah. Oh my God. He called me the other day while I was at church and I was like, not today.
Your regulars cared, but that's
But,
about it.
and that's the thing. I was like, if it was actually about the job, if it was actually about like, oh, the end, no, it wouldn't have been like that
No.
because I quit bartending and nobody from there ever spoke to me ever again. That was my biggest fear. But when we quit network marketing, you're like you change companies or like you do something else. Like I just quit the industry and I love it. I quit my business and it was thriving. Like it wasn't about it being bad. It was about needing to move on and do something different. But everybody wants to have like a circus around it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no. Like remember to see the people. Remember to like actually like serve and like move with love because when you don't, it all just turns to crap. It gets so bad. It's like if you love the people that you're stop hate watching people. stop hate watching
Literally,
people.
if you're listening to this and you're hate watching either of us, please just do us a favor and unfollow. I'm really boring on social media now anyway, so you can
I know,
just go
me
ahead and
too.
unfollow
I'm like,
me.
what are you here for? Like the Bible verse of the day? Come on. But but it's like it was hard for me because when I had to go through like an unfollowing cleanse and I had to do it with
Yeah,
love and I had to realize who I was watching just to watch them.
true. True. And it is, I mean, it's a very slippery slope and we all do it. We're all guilty of it to some degree, but I do think that if your sole intent when you're logging on is just to watch somebody because you have this, like you said, malicious interest in their personal life, and all that you're doing is using that to just as a serotonin boost for yourself, you need to
Log
touch,
off.
touch some grass.
Go outside, sniff some air. But I know that network marketing has worked so loudly. And so that's why it's so easy. And everyone's just kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop because it's a different system. We're so used to the 9 to 5 system. And it's a different system. So we want the cracks. We're like, can't be that good. It can't be that good. And I'm here to tell you
Yeah,
that, like, it is an
it is. It
amazing
is.
industry. It is so good.
I'm still a big believer in it. I've been asked that a few times. Like, oh, do you still believe in network marketing? Fuck yeah, I do. The
Me
business model
too.
is incredible.
Yeah.
I will always be a believer in it. It completely changed my life. I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in today, working the job that I have now that I absolutely love, if it wasn't for Arbonne and the business that I built and the skill set, and the friendships and the community that came with that. I will always be a believer in it. I don't hate it at all. I just think that things need to change.
Same. And that is what I'm attempting to do. But like, we need more people to get on board. We need the people to get on board. And I think that conversations like this, where it's like, this industry is so good, but like wounded warriors can't serve people inside of it. Like, we have to heal ourselves. We have to have awareness. We have to have humbleness. Like, we have to humble ourselves inside of it to be like, how can I grow? How can I do differently? How can I serve people? How can I come into this industry so that instead of the narrative that is actually backed by it, it's like people feel your service, people feel what you're doing inside of it. And there just needs to be a shift where it's like, if the narrative is, oh, it preys on women, oh, it's drama, oh, it's this, it's like, it is such a weapon for influence and like amazing opportunity for women, but we're not utilizing it well because we're backing it with like girl gang content. And it's like, this industry serves women through every stage of their freaking life. Can we just get on the same page where we're like, let's actually serve people, not ourselves, not just ourselves, okay? So that it can work for more than 1% of people.
And the work that you're doing will continue to amplify that, and you're gonna, again, I think we are seeing the tides are changing. Um, but your pivot is just a testament to your belief in doing things a different way, and you're going to change a lot of lives along the way, and I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. Well, I know that you are too, because the way that you're showing up on socials, if you don't follow Brianna right now, her Instagram is at Brianna Edited. And I'll have that linked in here too. But like, I've said this to you before, but like, the way that you're healing out loud is showing people that they get grace in life. And like, you get grace if you have made a mistake, if you have done something wrong. Like, Brie and I, we both received grace in our journey. It's not the end. It's like, if you are willing to take forward steps, if you are willing to have awareness, if you're willing to have ownership, you are met with grace. It is a gift that we are given. And it's like, just freaking accept it and do the work to be able to receive it.
Mm. And yet what's on the other side is just you end up in the process of you forgive yourself first,
Yeah.
and then you seek forgiveness from others. And if I hadn't started from within, I'm sure that you and I never would have actually reconnected, because my apology would never have been genuine. It
Mm-hmm.
would never have come from the right place. So yeah, I mean, what's on the other side of all the healing is just this, feeling genuinely content. I feel genuinely content for the first time in so long. I can actually relax for the first time in so long. Um, and I just feel like I am finally on the right path, and I'm so happy to just be now just on the sidelines, just cheering for all my friends who are on a mission to do things differently. And I'm just excited to watch everything that you accomplish.
Honestly, me too. I'm also excited to have you come in and help with systems and tactical things at some point. So,
Great.
you guys, I did that on a podcast so that she'd have to say yes, but
Okay.
got one of
Yeah.
the best systems minds I've ever met in my life. And I'm like, I got
I mean, I'm not, bleeding myself dry working 16 different businesses now. So I've got one job and I also do career coaching on the side for those people that are listening to a 9 to 5 and want to change. Shameless plug. You can always find me on LinkedIn at Brianna Chapman. I live there most of the time and I'm just again a little innocent bystander on Instagram.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we'll let you guys go. But I think the main takeaway from this is just that it's never too late to heal out loud. And when you do it out loud, you give others permission to heal. Like, if you have been in pain, use it for purpose to serve others. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, how do we move through this world and serve others, even if it's at like the cost of us looking or like feeling humiliated? Like, we have to own our stuff. Do it, heal out loud so others can see that it's possible. Because, man, if this friendship wasn't back in my life, I was missing a piece.
Same,
And
same.
it took a year, and it doesn't have to be a quick journey, but like, man, take the journey back, do the steps that you need to, even if it's hard. And then just the last time, don't be the person that roots for other people's lives to fall apart, to fail, to jump on it behind a screen, because like, we just need more love and light in this world. There is enough darkness. Let's start driving it out. Whew. Well, I'm going to get you come back on for another episode going over like tactical sales things for all of the salespeople who listen to this, because we need the skills. We just said that we need the skills.
Yes,
So
I love that.
we'll see you again. Thank you guys for tuning in for the last hour, and we'll see you next week.